Can you guys hear me talk? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. We're going to get started at the bottom of the hour, everyone. I'm looking forward to talking with you tonight, starting at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Please enjoy some awesome music while I get myself ready for a fantastic live stream tonight. But then, you know, if you can't see, walkms.org. Walk. So if you go to walkms.org, that's how you find, like where it says find the walk and whatnot. Perfect. That'd be great. Fantastic. Okay, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited. And then how long do you have as much time as you want? one day when I have time, I can find, I'll figure out. We're working on it. Thank you again. That part, yes. Reach beyond the point that I basically spend 2 hours a year, so half an hour and 4 months here. It's disgustingly inadequate to teach someone to live their best life despite chronic conditions. So these kind of efforts are, in my mind, really, really important for helping people's needs. So, all right. Talk to you in just a few. Thank you. Kevin, you can hear me a little bit. It's okay that the mic is hot. I'm just trying to get some things set up, and I'm excited about the guest speaker that we're going to have this evening. We're going to get started here in just about 15 minutes. Howdy everyone. I am so excited. We're going to go live here in just 11 minutes. River and I are at the ready. I've got my water, and I am so excited to get started. Hey Woody, it's great to see you. I hope you're doing well. Nexer's in the house. What's up, Nexer? Bonnie is ready. Sylvia is ready. Ben is in the house, got the flames set up. Angela's in the house. Hey, much love, Angela. Steve representing Canada. That's where it's at. Arizona is in the house. Nova Scotia is in the house. Small town Indiana representing Carrie. What's up? A. Pepper is here. Listening on the commute on the way home. I'm loving that. Jennifer's got some fire. Dean's got some fire going on. Kelly's representing Davis, California. Carolyn is in the house. So Carolyn says that either my mic's on or there's talking in the music. I hope that you can hear my mic is on. Stephanie Santiago, representing from Florida. Richmond, Virginia, up in the hizzy. Melbourne, Australia. All right, this is fantastic. Sylvia is representing. Jen McGraw representing Maryland. Mia has got the central coast of California represented. Morro Bay, what's up? Oklahoma in the house. This is fantastic, guys. 9 minutes until we go live. Hello in Finland. I had an opportunity to spend a week in Copenhagen years ago. I must tell you that you have an amazing country with some really, really nice people. Katarina is rocking her spoons. Minnesota up in the house. Wisconsin is represented. Oh, yeah. Melinda Brown is in the house. Spain is represented. This is fantastic, guys. Canada. All right. I hope my mic's on. Howdy, Joe. Mystical Dream Fire, loving that name. Elizabeth. We've got 7 minutes until we go live, guys. Thanks, Sylvia. I like the music also. River is doing great, Jen. Thank you for asking. Nexer, hey man. Hello from Seattle. Oklahoma in the house. Calgary represented. What's up, Arizona? Desiree is in the house. Hello, madam. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Desiree is one of our amazing moderators representing Pennsylvania in the house. Valerie asks if I'm going to be having regular live streams, and the answer is yes. It's my intention to do this the last Wednesday or Thursday of every month. We have 5 minutes until we go live. Five minutes and counting. It's starting to get pretty exciting. Steve is in Virginia. Oreo Cookie is digging the music. Thank you very much. 5 minutes of belly dancing. I got that. Thanks, Angela. I like that spinning brain also. You got your water ready, Ben? I got mine ready. York, PA is in the house. New York is in the house. Texas representing. What's up, y'all? 3 minutes until we go live. I cannot wait. Paul representing from Southeast Washington. What's up? Los Angeles is in the house. Got some Californians here. I'm loving that. Nexter's got the flames going on. The contractor's rocking some flames. Michael wants to belly dance. Go ahead, my man. Stephanie's representing North Carolina. Kyle Roberts is in the house. What's up, my friend? I hope you're doing well. I hope your family's doing well. We have 3 minutes until we go live. Mississippi is represented. I'll dance, Elizabeth. Let's do it. Maryland's in the house. Couple folks from Maryland here tonight. Naples, Florida, Mama Bear's representing. Loving that. 2 minutes to go. Thalia rocking some Ohio love. I like that. OH. Donna's got some flames going on. Joe C is in the house with some fire. Thank you for the fire flames. Lauren, welcome from Wisconsin. 2 minutes to go. Robert made it to a live stream. Thank you, Robert. I am super stoked that you're here. So Burke Foster prefers Thursdays. Noted. Nexter's out of here. Nexter, be good. We have 1 minute until we go live. Brendan's got the water going on. Cheryl is rocking the Florida coast. Australia represented. Christian, thanks for joining us. Super awesome. We have 1 minute. Here we go, guys. It's about to get really exciting. Almost the top of the hour. Drum roll, the countdown has begun. Less than 1 minute to go. Bam. Howdy, howdy, everyone. Aaron Boster here. I am absolutely thrilled to be joining you live for this month's Livestream educational opportunity. It's a very, very special month. It is March, my son's birthday month. It's also National Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month is a very, very special time for those of us who participate in helping the lives of people and families impacted by MS. I am so excited that you're all here. There's 133 of you. Thank you, everyone. Tonight, I have a bunch of really fun things planned. Michael Murphy is in the house. What's going on, my friend? Ben says new location. Actually, Ben, I'm in the same room that I normally present in, but I've changed it up. And so I've got a bunch of different scenes here ready for us tonight. Woo! We've got a bunch of things going on. If you were curious about the degree to which I am bald, this is a fantastic opportunity to look at my shiny top of my head. We've got a bunch of fun things going on, including, if I can make this work, let's try it. The ever annoying Snapchat filter. All right, guys, let me share a little bit about what we have going on this evening. A lot of really fun things planned, at least I certainly hope so. It is National Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month, raising awareness about MS internationally. It's an excellent time to help raise awareness, to educate, to energize, and to empower families impacted by MS. Joe Siders is in the house. What's up, my man? Joe is one of our amazing moderators. Brad Nichols is in the house, throwing up some flames. I'm loving that. Let me talk a little bit about what I have planned for this evening. So I have really three things that I wanted to do with you guys tonight, and I am really, really excited about all three of them. The first is in honor of the Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month. I have a very special guest that I'll be bringing on. I'll be introducing this guest in just a few short minutes. She'll be presenting to us about something very near and dear to my heart, and then we'll be taking some questions if I can figure out how to work the logistics and technology. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. The second thing we're going to do in honor of Multiple Sclerosis Awareness Month, I'm going to present a lecture tonight on MS Care Partners. MS Care Partners is a very, very special and important topic, and I thought that it was very appropriate that we discuss it this evening when it's MS Awareness Month. Lastly, we will round out the live stream with a Ask Me Anything MS Q&A where I'll open up the lines. You guys can fire off your questions, and to the best of my ability, I'll answer them. Now, as always, you got to have your water ready for the MS Water Challenge. So if you're new to the live stream, let me break it down for you. MS Water Challenge, and I'll put that up there. So the MS Water Challenge is a way of reminding us that in order to live our best life despite having MS, we really need to up our water game. We're hearing that the music's a little loud. Let me just turn that music down. Is the music better? I turned the music down. Or is it a little better, guys? So Angela said that the music's a little loud. Angela, are we doing a bit better? Let me make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, all right, so the music's better. Thank you, guys. Going back to the MS Water Challenge, when I drink, you drink. You know how to do it, guys. MS Water Challenge, yo. Fantastic. Love me some water. Now, we recently had an amazing speech pathologist on. She taught us a lot of stuff. If you missed her videos, you most certainly can check those out on this channel. And she taught me a really good technique. When you drink water, you should be able to put the amount of liquid in your mouth that you can swallow it with one gulp, like this. That's the safest way to drink water. And when she showed me that, I learned that I wasn't doing it right, because I oftentimes will kind of chug water. And that's not the best way to drink. And so I was really glad that she shared that with me. Now, in full disclosure, in addition to the MS Water Challenge, I did bring some chocolate milk over here. It's adult chocolate milk. And so I may be enjoying that periodically during the live stream tonight. Now, Without any further ado, I want to share with you an important website. If you have pen and paper, or jot this down, that website is walkms.org. Walkms.org, because tonight I want to be talking to you about the National MS Society walks. And so the Multiple Sclerosis Society, the National MS Society, is the largest patient advocacy research organization representing multiple sclerosis in the entire world. The National MS Society is an amazing organization that has done some very, very special things in my life. And I just want to talk about that for a hot second. Because of the National MS Society, they create funding to train MS fellows. Now, I have trained 6 fellows in my career, and almost all of them were funded by National MS Society funding. So they received a salary with benefits so they could pay for their children's food and train to become an MS specialist because of the efforts of the National MS Society and their funding. And that's really, really important. The National MS Society has placed social workers in my clinics before, where they've embedded one of their own social workers in our clinics. They have done a tremendous efforts in increasing research in the United States and abroad. They truly are an amazing organization. They actually have representation on the Hill with lobbyists to make sure that the needs of patients and families impacted by MS are represented. And one of the largest events that they put on every year is the MS Walk. Now, the MS Walk is exactly what it sounds like. It's an opportunity for people from around the world to gather together in their own communities and to walk in support of families impacted by MS to raise money. Now, we at the Boster Center for MS are very excited. This is the first year that we're going to be walking as a team. And if you are a patient or a family associated with the Boster Center for MS, we want you to walk with us. We're going to get some shirts and we're going to raise some money. And I am terribly excited to introduce our guest for tonight. And so without any further ado, it's my absolute pleasure to invite to the virtual stage Stephanie Kumler. Stephanie is a member of the National MS Society in the Buckeye chapter here in Ohio, where I practice MS neurology. And we are going to bring Stephanie on tonight, if it works, so that she can present to you a little bit about the National MS Society walks. And so I'm hopeful that Stephanie's going to be able to get on. And it looks like something's, yeah, it worked. Yay. All right, so mute your. And it looks like something's, yeah, it worked. Yay. All right. So Stephanie right now might not be able to see us, but she. We can hear you. We can hear you. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. I'm hearing from that you guys can hear me, so that is perfect.
So go ahead and start.
I can no longer hear you, Dr. Bosner, so let me just make sure my mic is all the way up. Okay, perfect. So, like Dr. Boster said, my name is Steph Kumler. I'm a development specialist with Walk MS, and specifically Walk MS Ohio. So I saw some of you in the chat earlier calling out Ohio, OHIO. We love to see it. I am currently in Cleveland, Ohio, but I'm so excited that I will also be at the Columbus Walk, that we get to have the Boster Center for MS at the walk with us and walking together. So I hope some of you guys will be there. I'll be there. Feel free to come up and say hi. But I just wanted to tell you today a little bit about Walk MS and why we do Walk MS. So as Dr. Bosner said, the MS Society, our main goal, right, top of the line is we want to cure MS. That is just what we want to do across the board. And there's a lot of ways to go about it. One of those ways being funding. Obviously, we want to fund fellows. We want to fund research. We want to fund social workers to help people living with MS to live their very best lives right now. Not waiting to live their very best lives, but to live it right now, and with also that cure in mind. So Walk MS at its heart is a fundraiser, but it's so much more than that as well. So we're getting excited, we're getting pumped, we're raising funds for that research. But then what I love about Walk MS, I'm a little biased, but more than any of our other fundraisers, is that we have so many friends living with MS that come and walk with us. Actually, 92% of the people involved in Walk MS are either living with MS themselves, a caretaker, or someone directly related to someone living with MS. And so it just creates this, I just got goosebumps talking about it, just this community that is beautiful and exciting, where we get to know people, we get to know people's stories, people get to see and joining community with other people living with MS, joining community with other people caring for people living with MS. There's just so much love and so much community that happens at these walks. And the last 2 years have been hard. Obviously, we haven't been doing our in-person walks. And so that sense of community was, as the whole world was kind of like stripped away, and we were forced to do everything virtually. But this year we are so excited to be back in person. And so we're kind of calling this our comeback year. We want every single person who can to join us in Walk MS and be a part of it. So we have 234 walks across the nation. And so most likely a city near you has a walk. And if you just go to walkms.org, you can find your walk by putting in your zip code or your city, and it'll pop up with all the walks in your state. And we are really reaching this year to get 100,000 participants across the US in Walk MS. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sometimes there's not a walk right nearby, and sometimes you might not feel safe quite yet going to an in-person event. I totally understand that. But this year we've actually launched a new part of Walk MS called Walk MS Your Way, which allows you to still participate, still be part of that community, but from wherever you feel safe. So that can be, you can create maybe a walk in your neighborhood, or just with your family, and you can pick your own date. Maybe the date doesn't work. And we'd be happy to send you tools to create your own walk. And you get all the perks of being a walker, with just that kind of day of event being completely up to you. So that's a really exciting new feature that we're doing with Walk this year. But as I said, I will be at almost all the Ohio walks, walking and cheering at the finish line, probably crying, because I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. And I hope to see you there. And if you guys have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer some questions. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that, but I think we're going to maybe try, or I can answer questions in the chat, whatever is easier.
So here's a question from Kyle, who says, how far to walk?
How far? I just got a question from Kyle that how far is the walk? So every single walk site has a 1 mile loop and a 3 mile loop, for whatever you feel most comfortable with. But I will say as well, one of our main goals, being that we serve so many people living with MS, is accessibility. Yes, it's called a walk, but please feel free to roll. Please feel free to do however you feel most comfortable moving in a community. Or we have lots of friends who come and wait at the finish line, and they participate in that way. You can still sign up, you can still fundraise. You don't have to actually physically walk if that's not something that's interesting to you or something that you have the capability of doing, but we will do anything we can to give you the experience that you want. And so if that is helping you find accessible ways of getting around, we will work with you with that. How do you sign up? That's a great question. You go to walkms.org. So you go to walkms.org, you click Find My Walk, you put in your zip code, your walks pop up. As soon as you click that walk that you choose, it'll say register. And so then you click that and you say yes, and you'll put in just really short, quick info, and that'll take you from there. Your Walk MS staff person will get in contact with you in the next day or two, and we'll introduce ourselves and get the party started that way. Here we go. Can you bring a wheelchair? Absolutely. Like I said, we want this walk to be exactly what you need it to be, and as far as like having accessibility, we do everything we can to make sure our routes are accessible to wheelchairs, to power chairs, to going with a walker, whatever you need, so that you can be a part. Let's see. Someone asked, can I share this info? Absolutely. Please tell everyone you know. I would love to talk to anyone who's interested. Like I said, we're going for 100,000 participants this year across America. We want everyone who is connected to MS, or even if you're not connected to MS, come on and meet someone who's living with MS. Get to know them and know their stories. And I promise you, like, you'll be in the fam for life in Walk MS. I got another question that said, what if we can't walk or roll? Like I said, there's no requirement to do any like physical movement. So especially with Walk Your Way, you wouldn't even have to leave your house. That's a way to be a part of the community, more virtual. You'd still be connected to that Walk MS staff person. You'd still be connected in like the community boards of Walk MS team captains, which is one of our Facebook pages, which is really fun, and things like that. And you can also just come to the walk if you want to just like hang out and not go on the route. That's like totally fine too. We have really awesome vendors that like come and set up and some really fun things. So it's way more, in my opinion, about the community than it is about the physical walk. We do the walk because it's a great way to come together, but our goal is to bring people together and to raise that money. But on that note, the next question was, do you have to donate? Do you have to raise money? The answer is no. There's no minimum for Walk MS. Walk MS is largely about the community. Obviously, like I said, number one goal of the MS Society is to find that cure, is to end MS forever. And ways to get there does include finances. And so it is a fundraiser in that sense. However, no matter what place you're at, if you have money to donate, if you have the ability to fundraise, that does not disclude you from being a part of Walk MS. There is no minimum. All are welcome. You can register the day before, you can register right now. So we want you to participate no matter what, because you have something to bring to the community, whether that's financial or not. Let me see, what's our next question? What do we do with the money? That's a really good question. So the MS Society does lots of different things. But our biggest thing right now, especially, is research, is finding that cure for MS. We, in the last 5 years, have made more progress than the 75 that preceded it, as far as finding like new research that's coming up with new pathways to find a cure. So that's really exciting, and we're really pushing forward on that. So most of the money we raise at Walk does go straight to research. I believe it's 80%. But then other things that we do is advocacy. We send people to Capitol Hill to advocate for lower costs of of a medication. We also have a program called the MS Navigators, which is those social workers that are there to help people living with MS really navigate those difficult times that come through, whether that's maybe getting a wheelchair ramp, or maybe that's just finding a community group, having that community near you. Maybe that's needing help paying your bills. Our navigators are a big part of that as well. So those are kind of just 3 examples of ways that that money goes towards the society. Let's see. Can only people in the US participate? No, it is absolutely, we only have physical walks in the US right now, but you can definitely feel free to join Walk MS Your Way, or if you have a connection to a city in the US that you're like, oh, I want to walk with Cleveland, then you can still celebrate with us. You can still fundraise with us. Obviously, the physical walk would be in that city, but you can absolutely be a part of it. And the Walk Your Way, one of the greatest things is everyone is all over. And so you look at that leaderboard on the Walk Your Way website, which if you're on that Find Your Walk page, you can type in, instead of a zip code, Your Way, and Walk Your Way will come up also. And that way you can find that, and you'll see like the leaderboard of everyone fundraising, and it's just a blast because you see people from all over the place participating in the walks. And that's actually one thing that one beautiful thing that's come from the pandemic is we never had that before, and now we've seen just the power and the beauty of opening that up to beyond just like the physical barriers, and having people from all over come and walk together, which is fantastic. Let me see what other questions. Alrighty. Well, I think that we are pretty much done. I just saw someone say they want to join in Cleveland, so that is the best thing that's ever happened, because that's my baby. I love that walk, and I can't wait to see you there. So I'm going to pass it back to Dr. Bosner, and you guys have a great day. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Wow. Can we please show Stephanie and the National MS Society some serious love? You know how we show love in this live stream. You flame up the chat. Do me a favor, guys, and flame up the chat. Let's show the National MS Society that this growing global online community is going to walk hand in hand with the National MS Society. Go to walkms.org. Sign up today for a walk near you. Join the Boster Center for MS walk team or start your own. You can walk physically, you can roll, you can show up and show your support. You can walk virtually with Walk Your Way. I am so excited that we had an opportunity to hear from Stephanie, who is in the National MS Society, the Buckeye chapter, who is going to be representing the walks around Ohio. And I will be at the walk in Columbus, Ohio. I am thrilled. I think my entire team is going to show up. We're going to be rocking our purple shirts. And if you walk with us, we're going to hook you up with a purple shirt. So again, I hope that the National MS Society sees the flames in the chat. They see the love. There's 140 of you on right now. And I just want to say thank you. Let's cap that off with some MS Water Challenge. Yo. That was awesome. Again, thank you everyone from the National MS Society. It will be our honor to walk this year. We're going to be raising money, and I'm going to ask you and your family to consider doing the exact same thing to help people impacted by MS from around the globe. Almost nobody does it better than the National MS Society. Thank you, guys. And what a great way to celebrate this MS Awareness Month than signing up for a walk today, helping raise money so that you can train the future generation of MS specialists. You can contribute to MS research to find a cure for multiple sclerosis, and you can embed social workers in MS clinics around the country to help people live their very, very best life. Really, really exciting stuff going on. And I'm now going to transition to our second topic of the evening. In order to do that, I'm going to switch up the screen here a little bit. and there's still 138 of you online tonight. That is phenomenal. And I want to thank each and every one of you. And I'm now going to transition into a discussion, a didactic lecture on care partners. So let me just throw that up in the chat. And let's talk a little bit about care partners. So I'm an MS specialist. I'm an MS neurologist in sunny Columbus, Ohio. And it is National MS Awareness Month. And so it seems appropriate that we would talk about MS in some capacity. So why am I choosing to discuss care partners when there's so many things that we could be discussing? It's because in my mind, there's probably nothing more important. There's probably nothing more sacrosanct or special than a care partner. And so I want to spend some time talking about what is a care partner, who is a care partner, what do they do, and what can we do to help them in their quest to help you. It's a really, really special topic to me. The reason it's a special topic is because of the way that I learned about MS. And some of you have heard this story before, but maybe for some of you, this is the first time. I was introduced to MS when I was a child. In fact, I don't have a memory of when my Uncle Mark didn't have MS. So my earliest childhood memory, my uncle had multiple sclerosis. And I grew up in a very close-knit, third-generation American family. I grew up very, very close to my grandparents, my papa and my nini. I spent every Friday night at their house in a sleepover. And when my uncle was in about his 30s, his disease progressed to the extent that he couldn't walk alone anymore, and he wasn't safe to be by himself. And so my uncle moved back home from Doylestown, Pennsylvania to Columbus, Ohio, and he moved into my grandparents' home. He moved back in with my nini and papa. And my nini and papa proceeded to live with my uncle and to provide care for my uncle until we buried him in his late 50s. He spent 25 years in their home, and I grew up in that home. I spent my weekends there, I spent evenings there, and I saw very, very firsthand what it means to be a care partner. Long before I knew the term care partner, I knew what it meant to dedicate your life to help someone you love. I watched my grandfather, who is a publisher. So my grandfather's passed away, but he was a publisher. So he wrote books and edited books for Harper & Row. I watched my grandfather do amazing things. My grandfather is a competent nurse. He can fix an IV. He can change a Foley catheter. He could disimpact his son. He could change the air mattress. He could help him if he couldn't breathe. He would give him his medicines. He would feed my uncle. Long before I learned the pathophysiology of MS, long before I learned the immunopathogenesis of multiple sclerosis, hell, long before I learned how to spell multiple sclerosis, I knew what it meant to care for someone and how hard it is. It's really, really hard to be a caregiver. It's really hard to be a care provider. And those are terms that I don't like. I prefer the term care partner. Now, why do I prefer the term care partner? Because caregiver is unilateral. It's unidirectional. The caregiver gives care and that's it. And that's not how this works. This is real life. These are intimate relationships. It is a two-way street. It's a two-way street. It's a care partner that you have. Now, when I write the hashtag, which I'm going to try to do now, we have MS. When I write this hashtag, we have MS. What does that mean? You know, I've had patients get pissed off with me because they said, Dr. Boster, that's disingenuous. You don't have MS. I have MS, they tell me, but what do you mean we have MS? What does that mean? It means that you don't get to have MS alone. Nope. You don't get to have MS by yourself. You have MS with your village. And the most important village member is your care partner. And you don't get to grapple with this disease in isolation. You do it with your village. And I want you to have a powerful village. I want to be a village member. I want the people in this growing global online community to be your village member. But the most important village member is that care partner. Super, super important. Now, let's talk a little bit about care partners, shall we? What defines a care partner? Well, I'll put a definition forward. A care partner is someone who assists in the day-to-day activities of daily living of somebody else. That's what a care partner is. They assist in the activities of daily living. Now, again, I like the term care partner as opposed to caregiver or care deliverer, because to me, that's not the way this works. And who is a care partner? Who qualifies as a care partner? It can be any human. It can be a child. In the example of my uncle, it was his parents and his sister, my mother. It could be a neighbor. It could be a member of your church. And it could be a professional, someone that you pay or that is paid to help provide care. Any of these people can be a care partner, a spouse, a friend, a family member, a parent. And it's so important to me when people come into the clinic to see me that they bring their village with them. And I always want them to bring their care partner. Always, always, always. MS Water Challenge. Before I go on, I want you to look behind me. If you look behind me and you see that painting, I'm going to grab it real quick so you can see it better. So this was a painting done by my grandfather, the care partner of my uncle with MS. So Irv Levy did this, and the fact that I own it is so special. He did that in 1968. When he passed, well, I'm not doing a good job of keeping this on the camera. When he passed away, my mother gave me a lot of his artwork, and it's a privilege that I display at my clinic. There's a self-portrait of my uncle, there's a portrait of my grandfather, and there's a sculpture of my grandmother. All three very important people in my life, my uncle who had MS, and his two care partners, my grandparents. So I wanted to share this with you. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I have wires all over here because I've got cameras all over the place. So getting up and sitting back down is actually really, really challenging. And I want to jump back into a discussion about care partners. Now, there is a survey that was done several years back, a survey that's called Versus MS. So, Versus MS was this survey which involved 1,000 humans with multiple sclerosis. Well, that's a lot of humans. And 500 care partners. And they were asked a series of questions. And they compiled this survey, and it was really impactful to me. I learned a lot when I read this survey, and I sometimes talk about it. And so in preparation for tonight, I pulled out a couple key elements from that survey that I thought were relevant. The first one, near half of all care partners are frustrated that those around them have no understanding of the challenges that they face. That's really, really true. It is near impossible to provide 24/7 care for a human being. I know that because my family tried. And when you dedicate your life to helping another human, it's a thankless job. And it's not surprising to me that half of the people that are providing care in a care partner relationship feel like those around them don't get it. That's not dissimilar to the way that people impacted by MS feel. They look so good. They don't look sick. And so people don't understand. Well, the care partner lives that journey with them, and they hurt. And that oftentimes goes unnoticed. Another statistic was maybe even more unsettling. 2/3 of all care partners wish that there was more they could do to help the person that they're caring for. And you can imagine how it might feel to not be able to help someone, to try your best and to watch them struggle. That's a really, really big deal. Now, this next one is going to be the most important that I go over with you today, at least in my opinion. And it's half of care partners do not discuss their fears of progression of disability because they're scared that they'll upset the person they're caring for. Now, what's really interesting is there's another statistic from this exact survey that says over half of people with MS do not share their fears because they don't want to upset their care partner. Here you have two human beings that are coexisting as care partners, and they're not communicating about their fears, and they're scared. And the other person's not communicating about their fears, and they're scared. And they're missing this massive opportunity. I thought that was a really, really interesting set of statistics that I wanted to share with you. Now, a little quick sip of my chocolate milk. Did any of you guess what my chocolate milk is? Oh, it's good for you. And it gives you strength. So let me talk about 5 things that I think caregivers need. I think care deliverers need, and I certainly think that care partners need. So let's discuss 5 things care partners need. So Katerina guessed correctly, that is in fact a Guinness. Okay, so what are 5 things that care partners need? Now, Desiree is nailing it. She says communication, but I'm going to take it a step further, Desiree, and I want to get a little bit granular with you. One thing that care partners need is they need recognition, right? We have to recognize that they're doing something colossal. The person pushing the wheelchair is not a transport service. The person pushing the wheelchair probably has more insight into that human being's life than almost any other person on earth. We need to recognize that a care partner is in fact that. They're a care partner. And I hope that when this live stream ends today, you think about that a little bit. Now, the second thing that a care partner needs is compassion. We need to be a little bit more compassionate when it comes to dealing with care partners. They are oftentimes taken advantage of. They're taken advantage of sometimes by the person they're providing care for. And I've seen it many, many times, and I'm embarrassed to say that I'm probably guilty of it. I've also seen care partners be taken advantage of by physicians. We just assume that they're there to help out. We just assume that they're going to help take the person to the MRI or bring them on time or deliver their medicines. And I don't think that's a fair assumption. If we are going to raise a village, we have to consider the village members. And I would submit to you that the most important village member is the care partner. And someone's loving my son's cat. Yep, Mewtwo is right over there cleaning himself in a foul manner. Now, the third thing that care partners need is respect. And respect. We all need respect, but I think a care partner is a specific in certain situation. Here's the deal. The care partner is oftentimes not a medical professional. I gave you the example of my grandfather. My grandfather didn't go to college. He was a publisher at Harper & Row, and he knew a lot about medicine. He knew a lot about my uncle's body, and he knew what worked and what didn't work. And when a new aide would come in the house, or when a new nurse would come in the house, it was my grandfather that taught them how to catheterize, how to disimpact, how to manage a G-tube. It was my grandfather that showed how to turn my uncle in bed. It was my grandfather that showed them how to use suction to clear out his throat. He was teaching the medical professionals at the bedside how to do it. And all too often, we don't give the care partner adequate respect. When I'm in a clinic, I always want you to bring village members. I really do. And when I ask you how you're doing, I will listen, and then I will turn and make eye contact with your care partner. And your care partner sees you from the outside. You see yourself from the inside. They see you from the outside. And they sometimes have insights that you simply don't have. I'll give you an example. Very often I will say to a patient, and let's pick an example, say the patient's a guy and he's with his wife, all right? And the wife is the care partner. And I'll say to the guy, hey, how's your mood these days? How are you doing? And he'll say, it's pretty good. And his wife's going, no, it's not. And she's almost jumping up and down. Now, that's an extreme example, but I have learned to be a better doctor by paying attention to what the care partner says and feels. I'll even take it a step further and share with you some interesting research. There's a really big MS center in Buffalo, New York, and they developed a survey that screens for cognitive impairment. So you give it to a patient, they fill it out, except this survey is really cool. You give one copy to the patient and you give one copy to the care partner, same form. It turns out that the answers from the patient do not correlate with cognition. They correlate with depression. The answers that the care partner provides strongly correlate with cognitive impairment. So this is an example where the insights of the care partner supersede the insights that we would get without. Very, very cool. Very, very cool and very important. And we should mandate that the care partner is given respect. Now, if you are a person impacted by MS and you're listening right now, you have an opportunity the next time that you are in clinic to make sure that the care partner is called out as being awesome. And you can make sure that the doctor and the care team is being deferent and respectful to the care partner. You can help facilitate that by saying, well, I brought my wife with me. She's my care partner. She knows me better than you do. Why don't you ask her? And I think that's something that is really, really important. Now, I said that there's 5 things that care partners need, and we've covered 3: recognition, compassion, and respect. And the 4th one is a no-brainer, except it's not done very often, and that's being honest. Just being honest. A care partner is in it. They're participating in your MS. We have MS means they are involved in this process with you, and we need to be honest. Just like we need to be honest with the person with MS, we need to be honest with the care partner. What does that mean? That means that we can't pull punches as MS doctors when talking about prognosis. That means we can't pull punches when asked to help clarify what we think is coming down the pike. That means that we have to look them in the eyes and be honest and say, I don't think this is going to go well, if that's what's going on. Honesty is one of those things, of course, you're supposed to be honest. All too often, someone impacted by MS may opt to hide a concern from their care partner because they don't want to hurt their care partner's feelings. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that because they have this with you. There's another hashtag that I use a lot in social media, and it's this. Stronger together. Stronger together is a lot like we have MS because we fare better when we work together, but you have to be honest in order to make that work. And so I challenge you to embrace honesty in your relationships with care partners. Now, number five, I've already seen people right up there, and Lisa nailed it just a second ago. It's respite. What is respite? Respite is taking a break. And caring for someone is an act of love, and it's brutally hard to do. It's brutally hard to do. And you can provide care for someone for about 3 days, 24/7, and you will go home and sleep like a baby. But you don't have MS for 3 days, and you don't have MS for 3 years, and you have MS longer than 30 years. And your care partner has it with you. And if the person impacted by MS has a lot of needs, that care partner may be burning the midnight oil, trying desperately to provide for that human being, whilst balancing as best they can the job that they have to maintain to keep the benefits for the person, the friends and family that they want to spend time with, their own personal health. And a respite is a break where you can separate for a bit and then come back together stronger. It's really, really, really important, guys. And so a respite of an hour a week can make a revolutionary difference in a caregiver's life, and it can allow them to prevent burnout, and it can make a big, big difference. Now, how do you create respite? Well, first of all, you need to be talking. The human being with MS and the human being who's the care partner need to be discussing. And I want the person with MS to propose that the care partner get the hell out of the house for an hour so that they can go to the gym, or so they can go to one of their medical appointments, or so that they can just like walk in the park or go drink a beer, literally take a deep breath. And if the person impacted by MS can't be at home by themselves because of a safety concern, so be it. There are programs, professional programs, where they will bring a human being into the house for you. There's a lot of religious organizations that provide for their parishioners in that manner, where you can have someone from your church group come and sit with you and spend some time. And respite can take many, many different forms. It can be a casual respite. It doesn't have to be a formal thing like I just described. It could be your neighbor coming over and bringing you dinner so that you don't have to cook. Or it could be your neighbor coming over and hanging out with the person with MS so that the care partner can go to the grocery store. My point here is respite is critically important if you are going to help someone longer than a couple days. And there's no shame in that game. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of smarts. Now, John Scapino just got here. John, I hope you're doing well. Please tell your family I said hello, howdy, hi, and welcome, my friend. Now, today, John, we've been talking about MS Awareness Month, and I was delighted to have a member of the National MS Society on to talk about how we can participate in MS walks. And they gave us this walkms.org website where you can log on and join a walk near you. And I've been talking for the last few minutes, John, about care partners in MS. And I know you know, John, the importance of care partners. Now, I want you to think about this quote, guys. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't do a good job of taking care of somebody else. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't do a good job of taking care of somebody else. That's true for me as a physician, as a clinician. I need to invest in my own mental health if I'm going to do my best in helping take care of patients every day. And many of you know that I've been on a journey of mental health trying to live my best life. I've recently committed to losing a lot of extra weight. I've got a walking desk, so I'm walking on my treadmill all day long, so I'm not packing on weight the way that I was. I meditate every morning. And I do that for my own mental well-being, and I do that so I can be an effective clinician. The exact same thing is true if you're a care partner. If you're a care partner, you have to step away for a while and take a deep breath and go back. Now, you don't have MS by yourself. You have it with your village member, and the most important village member is your care partner. And so I'm going to wrap up this lecture with a call to action. If you are listening to me and you are a person impacted by MS, and you have a care partner, and I bet you that you do, I want you to practice the art of gratitude. That's something that I've also been working on a lot recently, gratitude. And I want you to practice the art of gratitude with that care partner. I want you to tell them that you really appreciate them. If you love that person, look them in the eyes and tell them that you love them and tell them thank you. And if you are a person impacted by MS, I want you to think of what you can do during this month, MS Awareness Month, to help recognize and help honor that care partner. Super, super important. Now that concludes the didactic lecture. I'm going to change the scene up a little bit and MS Water Challenge with chocolate milk. Alrighty. We have 3 things planned for today. The first was an exciting guest from the National MS Society, and I'm so appreciative that Stephanie came on today. Thank you. We are going to check out walkms.org, and you can sign up. Marla, take care. And we then had a didactic discussion surrounding care partners, and I really appreciate you guys participating in that with me. It was an honor that I got to share with you the art that my grandfather made years back. Now, with the remaining time that we have on the live stream, I would like to open up the lines so that we can do an Ask Me Anything Q&A. Let's start off with questions, and please keep in mind that I can't answer specifics about you. I need it to be a general question so that everybody can benefit. There's 161 of you online. I am absolutely blown away by that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's kick it off. So Gwendolyn starts off and says, I have 20 lesions. Do you consider that a lot? It really depends on how long you've had MS. If you are newly diagnosed with MS and your first MRI has 20 lesions, statistically, that's a much more concerning prognosis than if you had less than 5. But if you've had MS for a while, that number in that statistic loses meaning. And instead of the number of spots, I'm very concerned about the delta, the change over time. So if you have 20 spots and the next year you have 21 spots, you've only had 1 new spot. The delta's 1. If you had 5 spots and the next year you have 10, that's a 100% increase. I'm much more concerned about that. And so I don't want people to become counters. 20 lesions, 21 lesions. I want you to pay attention to the delta, the change over time. Mama Bear writes a question near and dear to my heart. Hey, Dr. Boster, are you doing any clinical trials? Yes. At the Boster Center for MS, we are doing a bunch of clinical trials. And so if you go to bosterms.com, you can check out on our website, we are doing trials in primary progressive MS. Last month, I brought on a special guest to talk about a pediatric trial that we're doing at the Boster Center, studying Ocrevus against Gilenya in children with MS. We are involved in a secondary progressive trial called the Hercules trial, and we're doing 4 relapsing remitting trials, all studying BTK. We have a couple trials looking at Mavenclad, so there's a tremendous amount of research going on. I was delighted that today we were offered a trial involving spasticity in MS. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. That was a great question. Thank you for asking it. So Kathleen writes in and says, patients over 65, I was told you don't need a disease-modifying therapy. Okay, all right, let me center myself. Okay, so in polite language, that's bullshit. No, I'm sorry, Kathleen. I have very, very strong opinions about that. And by the way, my father, Charles Boster, just came on. Hey, Dad, how are you? Thank you for joining. Karen's asking about whether people over 65 need to be treated, and the answer is they do. If you're over 65 and you're still alive, then that means that you have a nervous system. And if you have nervous features that you like, for example, wiggling your hand, swallowing, seeing, smelling, having an orgasm, walking, going to the bathroom on your own, if you have neurological features that you like, I want you to keep them. And if you have MS, that means that you have an aberrant immune system that wants to beat up on your brain and cause brain damage, and beat up on your spinal cord and cause spinal cord damage. And I'm not okay with that. And if you're doing well and you haven't had an attack in 5 years, maybe that's because your medicine's working. Let me tell you about a clinical research trial that really made me mad. There was a trial that looked at people 55 and over. Now, 55 is not old, but that was what they looked. They looked at 55. They said, if you're 55 years or older and you've had MS for a while and you've not had an attack in 5 years and your exam's stable for 5 years, well, then we're going to do a trial and take you off your medicine and see what happens. That's what they did, is they took people off their medicine for 2 years. And the trial concluded that it was safe to do it because only 1/3 of patients progressed. Allow me to repeat. 1/3 of people that were completely stable on medicine came off medicine and got worse. And that is completely and utterly not okay with me. Because if the person that got worse was my mom or dad, I'm not okay with that. And maybe the reason that you're doing well is because you're on a medicine. Now, sure, as we age, our immune systems quiet down a little, but not at 65. I'm talking 70 and 80. And it doesn't mean that we have to use the same medicine. We could de-escalate. We go from a medicine with side effects that are a little rough to a medicine that's not so rough. We could de-escalate, but I certainly do not want to stop. Not at all. It actually gets me really fired up. I don't think it's appropriate to be ageist when dealing with multiple sclerosis. So let's look at the next question. So this question, so Elizabeth says, thanks for saying 55 is not old. So as I rapidly approach 50, 50 seems super young to me. So Lynette writes, what is paresis in the cervical spine? So paresis is a doctor word that means weakness. Plegia means can't move at all. So when you see I'll type this out for you. When you see the word paresis, and I'll break that down, So when you see the word paraparesis, let me click this properly. Para is referencing your legs. Paresis means they're weak. If you see the word paraplegia means your legs can't move. So paresis is a Greek word. It's a doctor word for weakness. And what you wrote is, if you have weak paresis, it can come from damage from the brain, or it can come from damage in the spinal cord. And if you have a lesion in the back of your in the front of your spinal cord on both sides, it can affect your legs and cause a paraparesis. So that's some of the words that we use. Alrighty, what else do we have cooking on here? So Carolyn says, question about colonics for neurogenic colon. So first of all, what's a neurogenic colon? So a neurogenic colon is a gut that doesn't move very well. And sometimes when there's damage from MS, we have really slow gut motility, which causes legit constipation in a pretty bad way. And sometimes people impacted by MS have to do heroic things to poop. And so it's very common that we teach people impacted by MS about the gastrocolic reflex. So when you put something in here, particularly a hot beverage, about 20 minutes later, your bowels try to evacuate. It's a gastrocolic reflex. And when you have MS, sometimes you're not made aware of that. So it is happening, but your body doesn't tell you. And so you don't feel it. But you can leverage the knowledge of that, right? So you can say, okay, well, I woke up in the morning, I had my coffee, it's been 15 minutes, let me go sit on the john, and optimize your chance of having a bowel movement. If it's been a couple days and you haven't had a bowel movement, we still use that gastrocolic reflex, digital rectal stimulation. This is my rectal finger. Put it inside the rectum, move it in a circle. It stimulates a gazillion nerves, screaming up the spinal cord going, hey, time to poop. And then it kind of informs them of what's going on. I'm going to change it up now. You can see my bald head. There's a lot of videos on my YouTube channel about constipation and about ways of combating constipation. Now, a colonic, which is like an enema, is a way of cleaning out from below. And when I'm trying to help someone who's constipated, I try from above first. And if that doesn't work, then we go from below. Anyone who's gone to an American med school, one of the very first things they learn about is how to make a human poop. Very, very important. So Desiree says, gloves, lube, and a prayer. Yes, sister, that's exactly right. Lemonfish angel peel, amazing, fantastic human being in New Zealand is in the house. It's great to see you. One of the coolest things about Lemonfish angel peel is she's actually in the future. So as I talk to you, it is Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But Lemonfish angel peel is in my Thursday. So she's literally in the future. So it's really, really nice to see you tomorrow. And thank you for being here. Let's look at a couple other questions. Here, Mary has a question. She writes, if the DMT is taken every other day to mitigate the effects on the immune system, would symptoms increase? So what Mary's talking about is using medicines not the way they were invented. So when we study a drug in a clinical trial, we study it in a certain fashion. I'll give you an example, Gilenya. So Gilenya was a pill that came out in 2010 for MS. It remains a really good pill, and it's taken once a day. And it was studied once a day. And for various reasons, some doctors have flirted with the idea of going every other day. And generally speaking, when you go every other day, the drug is less effective and you can have breakthrough disease. And so this is an example where I would not want to go off the reservation and use the drug in that fashion, because I think that it may lead to a problem. But that doesn't mean that every off-label investigation is dumb or not smart or doesn't work. I'll give you another example. Tysabri, we studied it on label to give it over an hour. That's how long you give it. And then we watch you for an hour. Except we've been giving Tysabri since 2004, and I realized that you didn't need to wait that long. And so we give Tysabri over a half an hour instead of an hour, and it works awesomely well, and we haven't had any problems, and people love it because they get out quicker. So I think that the take-home is clinical medicine is a discussion, and it's fair to have an engaging conversation with your clinician. I'm oftentimes asked, could I take Ocrevus every 5 months instead of every 6? And my response is, I would love to do that, but I can't get it paid for. And so we can't move it closer, even though, boy, I would like to do that. Ben wants to know if I have a matrix printer. No, this is just paper that I ripped out of a binder, so it kind of looks like that on the side. Somebody said bald is beautiful, and that's very kind of you. Lies and flattery will get you everywhere with me. Chicago is representing in the house, and Tina's in the UK. She says, I've been on Mayzent for about 9 months, and I haven't seen any improvement. Shall I stay on it? That's a really, really important question. And I'll punctuate it with a sip of Guinness in honor of Great Britain. So Mayzent is a second-generation Gilenya. It's a Gilenya Me Too drug. It's one of the S1P1 receptors. It's a very good medicine. And the question is, if I'm on this drug and I don't get better, should I stop it? Or another way of saying that, is it working? And it has everything to do with expectations. So if you were on birth control pills and you got pregnant, guess what? It didn't work. Because the goal of a birth control pill is to prevent an unplanned event, an unplanned pregnancy. Now, if you have 3 children and you start birth control, guess what? You have 3 children. They don't go away. My joke is, if you want to know why you're on birth control, go hang out with your 3 kids. Now, Mayzent is like a birth control pill against future MS disease activity. So if, God forbid, you have a numb leg from a prior attack, when you start Mayzent, it is not my expectation that numb leg will get better, because that's like the baby that's already born. That damage to your brain causing your numb leg is not going to reverse time. And so when you start a disease-modifying therapy like Mayzent, it is not my expectation, nor do I think it should be yours, that you see improvement. If you see improvement, that's exciting, but we cannot demand it. I don't think that we can demand it. The goal of Mayzent, in my opinion, is no further attacks, no progression on exam, and no new spots on the MRI. Normal rates of brain volume loss. That's what I'm looking for in a disease-modifying therapy. And so I would not recommend stopping it, at least not because you haven't seen improvement. So Woody says he's got to go. And thank you, Woody. It's great to see you, my friend. I hope you and your wife are doing really well. Thank you for joining me tonight. So Kathleen says, Mavenclad and Aubagio, doctor recommended either for me to decide. And so those are both small molecules. They're both pills. They're very, very different. And Mavenclad is a form of micro-induction. So you take 5 pills the first month, and that's it. So Monday through Friday, then you're done for 3 weeks. Then you take 5 pills the second month, so that's 10 pills the first year. Because after the second month, you don't take any more medicines. 10 pills that whole first year. And then on the anniversary, you take 10 more pills. So it's 10 pills the first year, 10 pills the second year, and then you never take it again unless you have new disease activity. How's that possible? It's because Mavenclad reboots the immune response. And so it can create a durable effect in the absence of retreatment. Aubagio is like the little engine that could. It's kind of, it reminds me of like my Honda Civic that I had. It's an awesome car. Nobody's going to catcall or whistle at you, and you're not going to win any races, but it'll never break down. It's super affordable, and it's extremely reliable. And I think that's kind of like Aubagio. It's a pill that's well tolerated, taken once a day. Aubagio is not rock star amazing at decreasing attacks. It's not. And it's not rock star amazing at cleaning up new spots on the MRI. But Aubagio is really good at slowing brain volume loss, and it's really good at slowing disability progression. And so earlier when I was talking about de-escalating, I oftentimes will de-escalate to Aubagio or Mavenclad. Excellent drugs. I do think that philosophically, the way that you approach MS is a little bit different with one versus the other. So Ms. Smith is asking a very common question. What's a good treatment option for chronic daily tension headaches due to MS? And people impacted by MS are at a much higher risk of developing headaches than the general population. And so any MS doctor spends a tremendous amount of time managing headaches. And so the first thing that I would recommend doing is I would look at behavioral measures. Because I think all too often we reach for a pill for that ill, when in reality, we might be able to improve chronic daily headaches, particularly tension headaches, through behavioral measures. So I've got a lot of videos on my channel where you can check out some information about how to manage migraines and daily headaches. But in a nutshell, you want to make sure that you're getting adequate sleep quality and quantity. So we're talking 8 hours of restful sleep, waking up and feeling refreshed. If you're waking up with a headache, or you're waking up feeling exhausted, or you're a snorer, or your bed partner listens to you and you stop breathing, then you have sleep apnea. And that might be why you're having such a wicked headache. You could have cervicogenic disease because of the posture of the way that you type on your computer, and you may need to adjust the ergonomics. You may have significant spasticity and tension, and you may need to work that out. So my point here is there's a lot that you can do behaviorally before we even get into medicines. And one of the biggest behavioral areas that I think is completely overlooked is nutrition. And so if you have chronic daily headaches, I would try cutting sugar completely out of your diet. And before you think I'm crazy, I want you to try it, and then let me know if you think I'm crazy, because I have helped so many people with their migraines just doing that. Really, really cool. Super awesome. Now let's see here. Let me look. So Dale writes in and says, hey, Dr. Boster. Hi, Dale. You mentioned a while back that there's a medication for people that are on Ocrevus. At the end of the 5 months, I start to feel very symptomatic, especially when the weather. So what I was saying is that I wish that I could give people Ocrevus every 5 months, but it's FDA approved every 24 weeks, which is like 5.5 months. And so you can't give it, they won't let you give it closer than 24 weeks. What I will sometimes do, however, and this is an off-label thing, is if you're having the so-called crap gap a month before your next infusion, then I'll give you a slug of steroids, 1 gram of IV steroids. And for many, many of my patients, that eases them in to their infusion, and they do really, really well. All right, we have gone just over an hour, and I need to eat some food. As many of you know, I am doing intermittent fasting, so I stop all calories at 8, which means I have 20 minutes to eat my meal for the day. I want to thank each and every one of you for participating in this growing global online community. I want to thank each and every one of you for participating, watching my Monday videos, watching my Thursday videos, your comments. I read them all and I love them, and I want to thank you for that. I want to encourage you to continue to support each other. And if there's anything that we take away from this month of MS awareness, it's being aware of the members of our own community, the members of our own village, the members of your village, the care partners who have dedicated their lives to helping you. My name's Aaron Boster, and as always, I want to thank you for learning about MS with me. I'll hope to see you next month at the end of April. It'll either be the last Thursday or the last Wednesday in April, and there'll be updates coming out about that. If not, I'll see you on my next Monday video, and if I have the occasion to see you in my clinic, or better yet, at one of the National Men's Society walks. I'm going to be walking with my team supporting you and your family in Columbus on the 14th of next month. God bless, be safe, and take care. I can't wait to see you guys next month. Have a great night.